Well, it's been a tough and tumultuous year for Victoria's multi-billion-dollar international education industry. Attacks on Indian students have led to mass protests about student safety, while allegations abound of dodgy colleges that fail to deliver adequate training. Now the federal government is looking to crack down on one of the industry's linchpins, permanent residency for foreign students. Guy Stainer reports.
Education's a big export earner for Australia. We make an awful lot of money out of international education.
Everyone is out there milking international students. Every student is worth $50,000 a year. So everyone is there to get a piece of action.
You can offer a course and make money, so why not?
An economy that once lived off the sheep's back is now riding on the coattails of foreign students. International education is Victoria's largest export industry, worth $4.5 billion a year. 50,000 international students are living in Melbourne at any given time.
Going for a dip is a swim.
And there's an ever-increasing number taking the plunge into Victorian education. But not every student is happy with their Australian experience.
Many colleges are done very wrong thing with the students.
Tejpal Singh came to Australia to study cookery.
In India, they show us the Flinders Station photograph. He says, this is your college and you can go over there.
After completing 2 semesters, Mr Singh went to change courses, but his college refused to release his academic results unless he paid for more tuition. They asked you to pay for semester 3 when you'd asked for a release?
Yeah, I just spent near about $13,000 on my fees, but I get nothing from my college.
Tejpal Singh is just one of thousands of disgruntled students. The Overseas Student Support Network says repeated cries for help have fallen on deaf ears.
I can show you documents from 10 years ago when people were questions asked in Parliament about colleges that were doing the wrong things, and nobody's done anything about them.
Through it all, state authorities have talked up the virtues of the Victorian industry.
The system here in Victoria for delivering quality training to both domestic students and international students is working very, very well. If it wasn't working well, you wouldn't have seen the enormous growth that we've had in international students in particular coming to study here in Victoria.
But there's ample evidence the growth has been at least partly driven not by the quality of education but by immigration rules that until recently meant studying here held the promise or at least the possibility of a residency visa.
What happened was that once this procedure was established, then we had links through migration agents, recruitment agents back into the subcontinent of India in particular, and once people realised that this avenue was available, it was very quickly subscribed and oversubscribed, and we saw this huge explosion in enrolments as a consequence.
I would say 90% of students are only coming to Australia because they have a chance. They see a chance that they may get a permanent residency later. In fact, a lot of people are coming only because of permanent residency, not because of education.
Nitin Gupta has built and sold his own training college and says the lure of permanent residency is an essential part of the industry's success.
If you only want to sell Australian education, I think 80% of the revenue will be lost.
He came to Australia to study and discovered a business opportunity.
I knew this market, I knew what is required, I knew what customers want. I had the contacts, a lot of my friends had become agents. So everything was in place. All I needed was some capital to start the business. As soon as I saved some capital, I started it.
He's now a consultant helping others start their own training centres. Last year, 35 new colleges opened.
If you had a good consultant and if you follow all the guidelines, it's not that tough, though it's slightly time-consuming.
For a little bit of time, operators can make a lot of money.
The modus operandi is very simple. Spend $150,000. Get 3 rooms on rent, 4 rooms on rent, start a college, bring in 200 students, everyone pays you $10,000 each. So you make you make about $2 million.
The Federation of Indian Students says the ease with which operators can open a training centre is a blight on the industry.
The biggest problem is there is no scrutiny on the people who are starting the businesses. Okay, we have people who are unethical, who don't, or who are quite dodgy, who are just therefore to make money.
Industry insiders say some owners open a college knowing it will have a limited lifespan of 2 or 3 years and promptly begin the process of opening another college. Tejpal Singh says he started at Della College. When it was blacklisted, he was transferred to a school run by the owner's brother. When the Victorian Institute of Training and Learning, or VITAL, had its licence suspended, he says his classmates were transferred to Sunshine College of Management, another school run by the same owner. Is it easy to open an international college?
No, I'd argue it's very difficult. Before you can be registered, you must have all your training resources, all your assessment tools, all your teachers and trainers in place and ready to go.
The Victorian Registration and Qualifications Authority, or VRQA, is responsible for approving new operators and policing the system. It's refused to comment on reports that the audit, which led to the suspension of the Victorian College of Training and Learning, found no certification to verify teachers' qualifications, and that it failed 54 of 85 audit criteria. The VRQA has shut down 9 colleges in the past year, while the Federal Department of Immigration has become involved, investigating suspect colleges over alleged visa offences.
There's a small number of people who haven't been operating properly, not providing proper courses, and we're determined to drive them out of the industry.
The federal and state governments have joined forces to conduct what they're calling a rapid audit, targeting 16 colleges in Victoria. The VRQA won't name the 16 schools targeted or comment on claims that at least 6 have already been found to be in breach of their licence requirements.